Earth as a singular planet. In fact, it is anything but. For this is a story not of a universe,
but a multiverse.
Where universes and planets, such as Earth, were replicated and mirrored across a vibrating, infinite plane. Some barely different from the next.
Others drastically so.
This is DC On Screen. Every week, Dave and Jason talk about the multiverse of DC properties on film and television. But be warned, if it's been officially released, you can expect they'll spoil it.
Welcome into episode 448 of DC On Screen. That was a weird way that I said it.
I'll forgive you.
I'm your host, David C. Robertson. This is my co-host, Jason Goss.
Hello.
That was weird. What's wrong with me? I went back to the old days where I was just saying Jason.
Yeah.
Ooh.
It's okay.
All right, well. So what we're doing today is we're going to be talking about, Supergirl Season 3, Episodes 1 through 9, with a focus on Episode 9, Rain. We haven't done recaps and reviews or anything, and this was part of the plan. Trust me, it was part of the plan. All right. So yeah, man. I guess we haven't really talked about a whole lot about these shows in the new format, but I feel like this episode, Rain, really, like, what would the word be? Exemplified the way I've been feeling. The way I've been feeling about this season so far.
Go on.
I kind of feel like, okay, let me just say, fight scene between Rain. Yeah, what? The fight scenes between Rain and Supergirl were great.
Yes,
right.
They really were.
I like the chemistry of the characters and everything. I like most of the characters.
I had felt as rewarded as they told me I would about Samantha in general turning into Rain, because I really like her.
Have you?
A little bit. I haven't gotten to get this invested at all. Like, normally we just have a villain of the week or somebody that comes out of nowhere who's already a baddie, and they wanted to do a different thing where it's somebody you actually get to that turns. And I got it. I kind of like Samantha and their little trio of friends and all that. So it has been at least a different take. I've enjoyed it.
I enjoy what they're trying to do, but I have not liked the execution at all. Like, in terms of the friendships, like, I'm fine with Samantha and Lena being friends. I'm good with where she sits. It's just the last episode, Rain, where Kara and Lena and Samantha are all hanging out, and they're like, "Oh, we're best friends," and everything. I'm like, when the hell did Kara and Samantha become best friends? When the hell did that happen? I don't remember that happening.
Just kind of over time.
Who told you Kara and Samantha were best friends? I didn't tell you Kara and Samantha were best friends.
No.
I didn't see that on the screen.
It's been just slowly developing. I don't know if there was a big moment, but...
No, there wasn't a big moment. I think it's quickly been developing over the last 2 episodes.
No, they've had like a few little moments here and there. Yeah. I mean, it wasn't like they haven't gone through a huge besties story arc or anything, but they were just kind of leading up to it. It's been tied in here and there.
So, yeah. How much do you think they're going to put Rain away and Samantha's daughter's going to be Alex's kid?
Oh. That sounds like a thing.
Doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does.
I didn't think about it until they were on that couch together, and they actually weren't letting us hear their dialogue, but she was just talking, and then it closed in on Alex staring at her and smiling. I went, "Oh.
Maybe."
Oh, there it is.
I mean, they could have just been showing you, the continuation of that story that Alex wants to be a mom.
Maybe.
Like, she got super excited that she got to go hang out with the kid for a second and stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe.
It could be a false lead, but I could definitely buy what you're selling also.
Yeah. So, aside from the Kara friendship, the Kara and the Lena friendship, honestly, I buy the Lena friendship more, but I don't know. Maybe I'm a little more choosy about who I call best friend.
I don't know. Nothing about it seems shaky to me. Like, they've implied it here and there. They've had a few drinks together, and they don't seem to have a lot of friends anyway. So suddenly they're a real tight group.
Yeah, speaking of people who, just jump at anything with any kind of chemistry whatsoever, Lena and James?
Sure.
What?
Yeah, I saw that one coming, though.
You saw it coming, but I didn't see it coming. I didn't really pay attention to it enough, I guess. But, yeah.
It was little moments. Like, if you looked away and glanced back too many times, you might have missed the entire storyline leading up to that.
Yeah, I probably did.
It was just like a couple of stolen glances and a couple of camera lingering moments, and it's like, oh, okay, They're going to do that. Noted.
I mean, I think I caught a couple of those, but it was more like I thought it was more like well, maybe she's not as bad as a Luthor, you know?
It seemed to have an undertone to it.
I probably was just doing something else or thinking about something else, or
I'm telling you, you didn't have to miss much screen time at all. Like, if you were eating crackers and you looked down to brush crumbs away, you might have missed like a third of all that happened here.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, highlight though, and I oh my lord, I wish they'd had him more. I love Jean's father. I love him
with the brown waters.
Yes.
Yeah. Like the argument. We've played it 3 times already, so help me. If my father learns nothing else this Christmas, he will learn of Hall Notes.
I'm enjoying him. Oh man. That's good stuff.
That was there was a John moment too that happened after that. Like, he talks about the brown water and the hot cocoa and kind of says, yeah, I don't take advantage of hot cocoa enough. And I'm always delighted by any mention of a sweet tooth with Martian.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just the wistfulness with which he says, it's like he just kind of has a moment where he's like, man, life is beautiful and infinite, and I just need to take advantage of beautiful things like hot cocoa more often.
Yeah. All right, so we haven't talked about it on the weekly show, so let's talk about it here, I suppose. Mon-El being married to Saturn Girl. How do you feel? What do you think?
I feel like I'm in exactly the place that Kara described later.
Mm-hmm.
She says something about, like, even though blah, 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 and she's a Greek goddess, and I can't find a reason to hate her, am I okay with this? No. Because Saturn Girl so far she's adorable, man. She's a wonderful personality. She's a beautiful person all across the board. There's no reason not to like this person except that she's, like, between Mon-El and Kara.
Mm-hmm.
And she even tries to pull Kara aside and give her the talk about, like, look, he didn't, just what would hopefully be a comforting idea. He fought for years to try to find you, and when he finally gave up, there was room for me or something like that. And even that was like, it was probably ill-advised, but it was maybe it endeared me more that she kind of tried.
Well, loath as I am to say such a thing, I'm gonna say it anyway now.
You hate her.
They could have pulled a page from Arrow and did a Mon-El flashback. It just showed us that 7 years a little bit.
Nah,
I could have dealt with that, but I don't know. No. I'm torn.
Instead, what they've done is 3 things. They've had Mon-El and Kara kind of agree that there really isn't much to talk about because here we are now, and they've done that through what was, I think, a pretty relevant. Organic conversation. They got to tell the backstory of Mon-El's, heartbreak by having a cute moment where Saturn Girl talks to Supergirl, which must have been hard for her too, because, that's her idol.
Yeah.
And she's going to go have a very difficult conversation that's not going to make her look very good. So I don't know. I admired the try on that.
Mm-hmm.
And, I don't know. I forgot my third thing even, but they've left it open enough. That I feel like they described enough of it without having to really describe any of it.
Yeah, I'm not saying they didn't do it adequately. I just wanted shots of the future. I really wanted to see the Legion, See,
I don't blame you, but going forward, I'm hoping you didn't see it now because they could tell you with words what they're going to show you later and keep for their budget.
Yeah,
that's my hope.
True. That's true. But I was really like we were just starting to get past the frowny Supergirl thing, and now Mon-El came back and he's married and she's frowny again. I'm like, no, damn it.
Yeah, but this one seems more legitimate. Like as far as she's concerned, she sent him off a couple months ago and he came back married.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a wonderful little. That was the third part of my story. They get a chance to kind of introduce who the Legion of Superheroes are, complete with Winn getting to name check them. because they do a quick little bit of exposition about, what they did once Mon-El got there.
Yeah.
And they're able to wrap all that up with beautiful, cheap words.
That turn into bitter orange wax in my ears.
Yeah.
Sorry, Futurama reference. Not an actual indication of any way I feel. I just had to finish the quote.
Had to finish the quote, though.
So I kind of feel like they're going to be, I feel like they're going to do the, I don't know how to put it, because I'm stupid. I'm not a smart man, Jason. I feel like they're going to use that whole theme of Kara, or the struggle between humanity and the Kryptonian heritage that Kara's going through with Rain. I feel like they're just going to flip it. Or, at the very least, the Samantha Rain storyline will bring about a realization or a revelation for Kara with her role as Supergirl.
Yeah, part of what I think is going to come back, and part of what I think they were teeing up here toward the end, right before that fight, was, Alex kind of tells her, this one scares me more than normal. Like, get out there and do it their way. Or Supergirl says, like, we'll do it their way. Right before getting her ass kicked. And even Alex says, like, you need to be cold, you need to be Kryptonian, all that stuff. Like, everything they've been preaching against for about a season and some change. You can almost hear somewhere in another climactic moment.
I told you that, but I was wrong.
Saying,
the thing that separates saying, you.
This time we do it our way. That's got to be on the way.
Yeah, when Alex was saying that, I was totally thinking, like, oh man, this'll later on. With the final fight with Rain, she'll say, "I told you once before, you need to be cold and Kryptonian, but you need to be
embrace your humanity. It's the only way you'll win.
You don't need to be Supergirl. You need to be Kara Danvers.
Kara can take it." All of that seems, not that it's going to make for a bad moment. It just seems like they were really telegraphing.
They were really,
punch, I guess.
Yeah, they're laying that pipe hard.
Mm-hmm. I mean, not that I'm going to hate that. That could be a perfectly good scene.
Could be.
And I got to admit, just talking about the fight, badass fight. Genuinely badass fight. Like, especially when they start pulling parts of cars out and ramming each other across the head with them.
Yeah.
I just kept watching going, ooh, ow. Yeah.
Yeah.
And
which, that's the thing. Man of Steel, we see buildings being hit. Like, oh, that's property damage. But cars, and in The Incredible Hulk and in this episode of Supergirl, that's fine. They're just cars.
It's just a few cars. We didn't have enough time in Powerless's pitch to get to what happens to the insurers of this, but
yeah,
that version of that show never quite made it. But it's still an interesting question. But in any case, like, I gotta admit, it's just something about watching like someone in that uniform laying helplessly on the ground that just like makes me want to shrivel up and crawl under something.
Yeah.
It just doesn't matter. If I see that S and blood running down, and I just like, it feels like my world goes very sideways.
Yeah. I mean, I instinctually just think, oh, where's Batman?
Yeah.
Oh,
someone save him. Where's Bats?
Oh, I just think Batman's responsible for this.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm just kidding. It's an okay season so far.
Yeah, they turned around from
there.
A lot of the whiny stuff that they were doing. We had a lot of hope in even in the premiere where she goes and like gets a drink with her friends, and we're like, oh, please let that be a sign of future changes. I really think it has been.
Yeah.
Like, it hasn't been. We got onto the show so hard for being.
Yeah, we did.
Petty and whiny, and it just not feeling very Supergirly. It just wasn't a show that like I left feeling inspired by a lot of times.
Yeah.
It does feel like they're getting back. Oh, and by the way, Aldebaran rum. I couldn't remember the name of it. I knew she'd gotten drunk somewhere during the series. I could not remember the name of that drink.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah, I couldn't tell you.
I appreciated Mon-El reminding me. It's like, I know I've seen her tipsy.
I didn't pay attention to what, actually got Supergirl drunk the first time, so...
I didn't either, and it had been so long when I tried to remember it, it was like, am I just imagining that? No, it's a real thing. She got drunk. And apparently it was Aldebaran rum, something close to that.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. It's just a memory gap I got to fill in. It was very nice. Personal victory, really.
Yeah.
How'd you feel about... I kind of like James apparently keeping like a compact version of the Guardian Shield literally under his sleeve. Feels like he's going to get caught eventually, but...
I don't think I even noticed.
It
didn't register with me at all.
He's just like in an alley, they get attacked, suddenly he's got the shield, and then it's gone again. It did seem to kind of extend out of his wrist.
This... maybe I should start watching these closer again. Because I'm just missing stuff, man. I'm sorry, guys.
Is her name Erica Durance? Do I have that right?
Yeah.
Lois, whatever.
Yeah. Smallville's Lois, yeah.
Smallville's Lois. We had another appearance from her. That was nice.
Sure. Dude, okay. I'm probably going to get heat from the Benanti fans, but, dude, I think Erica Durance does such a better job than the Laura Benanti, whatever her name is.
I think it is
the first
Laura
few seasons.
Benanti. I'm not sure, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I actually agree. I don't know what the difference is either. I really don't. I don't even know if she's a better actress. As far to my knowledge, I've seen them both kind of kick ass from time to time.
Sure.
I don't know what does or doesn't happen to these things. I don't get it.
Well, so far they've given us a little bit of range with Durance, right? Like we've seen her do the Kryptonian thing, but she doesn't come off as haughty. She's just sort of regal, but also warm and I don't know. It works. She flows. But then we saw her as the whatever it was, the FBI agent Noel Neal, which was really the Manhunter, but she had like a Southern accent thing going on. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
She's doing a good job, man. She's doing a good job.
I've enjoyed it.
Oh,
and I don't know. I don't know what to do with these things sometimes because like I just wandered through it, and for some reason my wife was watching like just one of those procedural cop shows. And I wandered through and saw this actress, and I was like, I know her. Why do I know her? And I couldn't even recognize her. It was finally... She looked like... I mean, honestly, the acting was like community theater reject pile acting.
Oh, okay.
It was bad. And
all right.
I mean, just bad. Like, cringe-worthy. And then I looked over, and finally, like, the face clicked, and I was like, oh my god, that was Dr. Malfi from The Sopranos. Like, how does the same person produce that performance and that performance? I don't always understand how you go from one show and destroy it, just knock it out of the park, and then go to another one. I don't get it.
I think a lot of it is writing. A lot of it is just caring about what you're doing. I don't know.
Has to be a part of it. I have a theory, though, with Durance, though, that she might be a better Kryptonian because, and this may be a really false premise, because if I understand correctly, she's a little bit of a taller woman. Mm-hmm. It's possible that she's got like an easy confidence that comes from just having a little bit of height that maybe comes across a little more smoothly than, acting.
I don't know. I'm 6'4", and I'm still looking for that height confidence of which you speak.
Oh, just a theory. Probably a bad one.
No, I don't know. But, so I don't know. I have a question for you here. Do you hate Samantha's daughter as much as I do?
No, I got nothing wrong with her.
Okay. Because she's super whiny. Just like every turn. I'm like, dude, your mom is trying to make some money, dude. She's trying to take care of you. Can you stop whining about like, Mom, you said you were good.
Yeah, but I know, but that's not the story they're trying to tell you. They're not trying to give you the story of a well-rounded mother who has a good relationship and partnership with her daughter, and they're going to make it through life together. They're trying to tell you the story of a woman who's losing track of her daughter because she's too busy. So, I'm sorry, but you're going to get a whiny daughter in this equation, my friend.
It's a little bit like, and maybe I just don't know how kids work. I don't know. But she seems a little, it's the William problem from Arrow. She's a little too old to be acting like this, honestly.
I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I actually don't even know where to place her age. And so far, like, whining...
she's about 13 to 14, somewhere.
Yeah, but, like, for her,
14.
it's like... And what I saw this week, for instance, was she has basically been taken to her mom's office and I suppose sat there with an iPad and told, hey, I'm going to work for a while. Please occupy yourself.
Uh-huh.
And then, this is like Christmas Eve, apparently. And then...
Sure.
They finally get to... She finally comes in and wants to know, like, hey, what's the status update? And it's basically, yeah, I'm going to have to skip Christmas. I don't know. That doesn't seem whiny. That seems like a perfectly good opportunity to bitch about something.
Well, that's fine. That was understandable, but I'm talking about like all the episodes before where she's like, oh, something came up and I have to do this. for like an hour. But Mom, like, dude, just, oh my God, really?
I don't seem to remember any of them. I didn't register. I don't think I registered that.
Not to mention, it's just like the whining that her mom isn't a superhero. Like, I know you're a superhero. It's like the kid from Unbreakable. I'm like, shut up. It's okay if your parent is not a superhero. You're like 15.
No. I'm gonna side with him. It was like,
I don't know.
That would be like knowing that your parent has a gigantic secret that they refuse to tell you. You may not articulate yourself well, but that doesn't sit well.
I don't know.
I mean, it's the equivalent of like looking out in the backyard one night and you see your dad turn into a dog and then turn back, and you're like, whoa, we have got to talk about this. And he's like, what are you talking about? What? We're gonna talk.
Well,
we're gonna talk about what happened in the backyard. Nothing happened in the backyard, honey. You were just imagining.
Well, I've actually had that happen. It's not as bad as you think.
You just buy more treats. Call it a day.
Sorry, that was a weird joke. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just I don't know. Whatever it is. Whatever. I don't know. Whatever.
Well,
I just don't even know anymore.
Possibly whiny kid aside, you enjoying yourself so far?
It's all right. It's all right. It's Supergirl and Arrow are like neck and neck for the number 2 spot as far as the CW shows are going
this season.
Yeah,
I can get behind that. I'll put it like I'm enjoying myself, but they haven't gotten yet to the point where there needs to be like an overarching season story that's just gonna like wrap me up so hard that I can't wait to get back to it.
Yeah, I feel like Supergirl's still struggling with that a lot. Like, it's still struggling with figuring out, like, what kind of show it is, what kind of show it wants to be.
Well, and every now and then I feel like it does that. But that's just when they kind of bring in new pieces. And that, for me, that's more like figuring out the characters. The show itself, I just don't think they've gotten there. Like, I think they know their plan for the season, but part of the plan involved turning Samantha into Rain. And since I knew that was going to happen, I was just watching something without a lot of, I don't know, passion. Like I knew where this ended, so it was it's enjoyable to watch. But you gotta like, there needs to be something happen that I'm just extremely enthralled with. Mm-hmm. Yeah, just kind of like the Flash every year has just some kind of mystery where we're all banging our heads, going, "What is going on here?"
Which I don't feel like they're doing that this year, but
no, they went a slightly different way with it, which is good. But
I'm still enjoying it.
In any case, just having something ongoing that. I'm like looking forward to every week. That's just the next thing they can do to really up the ante. Now maybe they're close. I mean, I like the stuff with like her getting her butt kicked. I don't know what's going to happen with Rain, but I suppose we're about to experiment with fascism for a little while, and that could be neat. I mean, and I kind of like all the stuff about the Book of Ra and how she's from a tribe that predates the Book of Ra and stuff like that, and even the preacher that has this arcane, worrisome advice every now and then. Like that stuff's pretty cool. I kind of want to dig into that a little bit.
That stuff is cool. It just has the effect of like, it sounds so badass. It sounds so awesome to me. And then like they're like, oh, she predates that's so awesome, the world ender. And then you see her in the costume, and you're just like, okay.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't look like Doomsday showed up on National City or anything, but she sure kicked Supergirl's butt. So like,
oh yeah, she kicked Supergirl's butt, man. But it's sort of like the sorcerer, the Tim. It's like, there are some who call me Tim. Like, oh, all right. Or like the monster at the cave, and it's just a little bunny rabbit.
Right.
Like, yeah, that bunny rabbit killed many great warriors, but I'm still cracking up whenever I see her.
Yeah. Well, you'll be one of the ones that gets to smirk when they die in this fictional universe.
I don't know. I don't wish her ill. I liked I liked how much they pulled from the Donnerverse in her little desert fortress of Sanctuary.
All right.
I enjoyed all that. That was all kind of cool. Kind of a nice little.
And, as far as upping the ante and giving you something to really get to really get intimidated by, which is almost like, it sounds like what you're describing is like you kind of wanted to flip over to somebody and be like, ooh, that's scary. Mm-hmm. You still got all the Worldkillers that she's got potted up. She has some friends that I don't think have hit the scene yet.
Have you seen any of this where people are actively like campaigning for Rain to kill Saturn Girl?
Yeah. Yeah, I have.
Oh man,
it may happen.
All right, so I don't know. The only thing else I can think of to talk about is I miss Maggie and Alex. I liked that relationship.
It was nice, but it went down for good reasons.
Sure.
Like they gave it a legitimate reason for her to go away. I liked.
Mm-hmm.
They did it well. It was a heartbreaking scene.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and I've mentioned before, this season actually finally gave us a reason why Jean always looks human.
Yeah, you were really happy with that.
I was so happy with that. That's my favorite thing that's happened this season. Is that they finally explained. Yeah, like, because it just got to be too much when they actually get to Mars, and like all the Martians look like people, and I'm like, no. And they're like, oh, we take the form of our guests. And I'm like, okay, well, I can deal with that. All right.
Yeah.
You got anything else on this?
No. I got the air date for when it returns.
What's that, buddy?
That is January 15th.
And we got some weird news that it was going to be like January 15th, and then like in February, Legends is going to come back and replace it. Yeah,
they're going to do. I don't even want to put details out there until just a little bit after the shakeup. We'll have details in our next episodes, though. But it's supposed to come back, go straight, go away for a while, Gotham style, I'll call it, and then come back and run straight through again. I don't want to get too attached to the dates, though. These things tend to change a little bit in this period.
Yeah.
January 15th, when everything else is coming back, seems to be, pretty assured.
Yeah. All right. Well, I don't really have much else to go on. You know what? I would love to see more of Winn and James, and I'd like to see those two cats together a little more, and I'd love to see a little more purpose for Winn. I don't feel like he's been given. I mean, he had a lot of great stuff in Crisis on Earth X, but the actual character we know from Supergirl, we don't have much of anymore. So
yeah, I mean, he's great as a
ensemble,
techie,
though,
and he's a wonderful kind of sidebar every now and then. But yeah, they haven't given him a real story in a minute. And I think the last thing they had going on was him and Guardian, or him and James, building the Guardian concept. And
so I'd love to see more of him. But,
wouldn't mind if his dad returned for a minute.
No, I wouldn't mind if he became his dad.
He damn well could.
I was certain that he would go evil because Kara rejected him in season 1, and he just didn't do that. So I'm like, all right, what was the point in all that then? What was the point in Winn shot being a thing? But you know what? Whatever.
Yeah, they still made him a good character. He's just kind of been on the back burner. Again, like you said, on ensemble cast, everyone can't play at once.
Well, it's just that, after seeing him in Earth X, I was just like, damn it, man, he is a good actor.
Mm-hmm.
You guys are wasting him.
Mm-hmm. Well, we've seen it from time to time where they've really, let him show that he's got a pair.
Yeah.
And he steps up hard on the acting, too.
All right. Well, here's hoping to, I don't know. What should we hope to?
Quickly to the Legion of Superheroes.
Well, we'll see that in a month. I was, hoping that it would be like, at least, forget it. I don't know what the hell I'm trying to say. Here's hoping to a season of at least this level of goodness.
There you go.
I hope it doesn't get worse. That's what I'm trying to say.
No. If it stays here, it'll be a perfectly adequate season. But I do think they have a little more on deck than... some part of me thinks this was kind of the boring part. But now that Rain's out of the bag, there's a little more fun to be had.
Fingers crossed.
And she makes a pretty good villainess. I mean, I liked her on the roof. Like, she was scary. Didn't seem silly.
She needs a little more agency for me to be really invested. Like, just mind control, taking over someone's body kind of thing. I don't give a shit about that. But
yeah, that's the point that I'm excited about. Is I think you're going to get the agency for why the bodies, the vessels being taken over, as hopefully part of the backstory of like what happened in pre-civilized Rao. I'm hoping all that comes together and coalesces, and kind of we both get what we want there.
Mm-hmm. Loving that not so cult preacher though. Yeah, I like him a lot.
Yeah, he's a good addition. I like a little wild card. Wild card. There we go.
Alright, guys. We are DC On Screen. You can find every episode at dconscreen.com. It's all free. And we do weekly news episodes. We're partnered with TV Time, which is just an amazing little app, an amazing little website. I enjoy the hell out of it. Mm-hmm. And get to communicate with a lot of the fans and stuff from all of these shows and see what the community is saying without all the annoying Facebookness of it all. Mm-hmm. And great way to track your shows.
That's my favorite.
Anyway, yeah, it's really great. I love it. But we'll be coming back with a review of the Flash season 4. God. Mm-hmm. And until then, keep some DC on your screen. Our opening narration was from Dan Jurgens' The History of the DC Universe, Part 3 of 10, as featured in DC 52, Week 4. It was performed by me, David Z. Robertson. Intro music by Jason Goss and Michael Shackelford. Michael's band Future Elevators can be found on Spotify or future-elevators.com. Our introduction was performed by Eli Ophelders of Stealing the Remote, which lives on SoundCloud and can be found on iTunes and Stitcher. We're a proud member of the Giant Size Team Up Network, GiantSizeTeamUp.com. DC On Screen is a maladjusted production. Visit maladjusted.tv for more from me and Jason, including sketch comedy and improvised web series, vlogs, parodies, and more.